Hello, I am the Ronin Pawn, and we interrupt your regularly scheduled gaming programming to bring you this late-breaking news. There's nothing on here. What am I supposed to tell them? Over the course of the past 3 months, we here at the Ronin Pawn News Network have broadcast certain informations regarding the new terms to the YouTube Partner Program and how the changes to those terms could allow you to escape a bad contract with a lousy multi-channel network. Now we here at RNN have our ways and means of acquiring information, inside operatives, certain covert agents, unnamed sources. One of those unnamed sources came to me today and informed me, sadly, that YouTube is now telling the MCNs that they're pushing off the deadline to sign up to the YouTube Partner Program, which was scheduled for April 1st, by at least a month. I should pause here and say that if you don't know what the hell I'm talking about right now, you should go and watch this video, because I can't summarize. I've done it too many times. This is video number 4 on this crap. That having been said, YouTube has stated on the record and across a number of different mediums that on April 1st, 2016, signing up to the new terms of the YouTube Partner Program would be required, and that on that day, if you hadn't signed up, they were going to demonetize your channel and break any network affiliation you have with a multi-channel network. There are a lot of you who have been waiting for this April 1st deadline, who have been waiting for months and months and months upon months for this to finally come around. You're stuck in bad contracts with MCNs that are lousy, that you don't want anything to do with, and never did anything for you except for take money off of the top, who came in with predatory practices and swooped down and scooped you up along with thousands of other channels and got you tied into a lock-in contract that's multi-year, and you're getting nothing out of it. And you've been waiting, and April 1st, that's the day. Finally, YouTube put a stamp on it, said this is the day that you gotta sign up or else we're gonna have to demonetize you. And all of us rejoiced. We all said, woo, finally, a way that we're, getting free of these horrible MCNs, like Freedom and Maker, and all the little sub-networks underneath these guys that do this thing. They go into your YouTube channel and they say, hey, we really like your content, and blah, 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 right when you're just starting to get a little steam and it feels good to be recognized, and then they get you to sign up to a contract that is unfair, that is way too long, and then they don't give you anything of value for it. And here we are today. I'm notified over Twitter by agents within my multi-channel network that isn't predatory and that isn't evil, that YouTube has notified them directly that they're pushing off that deadline by at least a month. So I want to talk about why YouTube would do that, because I've thought about it some, and there's only 2 things that really make sense. I figure if you asked YouTube, why are you moving the YouTube Partner Program deadline? You've been advertising it for month. They've been threatening people with a big blue bar across the top of their windows saying, you gotta sign up here, don't forget to click agree, for a long, long time. They have now sent out emails to anyone who, after the first couple of months of having that blue bar at the top, hadn't signed up. They sent out emails telling people, you have to sign up by April 1st. If you don't, you could lose your affiliation with your network and things like that. So why push the deadline off, YouTube? I'm sure if you asked them, and I'm not going to ask them because nobody can communicate with YouTube. They live in a rubber box and nothing gets in. I'm sure if you asked YouTube, why are you pushing this deadline off after all you've done to notify everyone in every way possible that this is the deadline, they'd say, well, we're just trying to give people an added opportunity. We want people to sign up to the YouTube Partner Program. It's not a bad thing, and we just don't want anybody to get cut off in midstream. Which makes absolutely no sense, so we'll just assume that that's a line of horse crap, because everyone has been notified who is still active on YouTube. The only channels that they have where they could possibly argue that we're just trying to give people an extra opportunity are channels that are inactive, that people don't log into. Because if you've logged into your dashboard and you haven't signed, you get a notification right there. And now they've sent out emails to people who maybe haven't logged into their dashboards. So now you've contacted them everywhere you possibly can. And now you're moving the deadline off. So I don't buy that as an explanation. I have an alternative explanation. It has to do with the MCNs. It has to do with George Papadopoulos, or whatever the hell his name is, CEO of Freedom. It has to do with the MCNs that rely on predacious practices in an industry that takes advantage of creators and artists in order to middleman off money for them by stealing it from people who are actually working for a living. See, what makes a lot more sense to me is that these predacious pyramid scheme MCNs have contacted YouTube. They've got the magic key that opens the rubber box, and they've actually spoken to them and said, hey, this is really going to screw us over. We're going to lose content creators. We've got people who are holding out right now, not signing up because you've told them that it's going to break their contract with their MCN. We've got them locked into a contract. We got them locked in for a reason. It's how we make the money. It's how we F them over. So you guys, YouTube, you can't do this to us, damn it. So I figure the fellas over at YouTube got together with their buddies, the MCNs, the big money holders, and said, well, this has got to happen sooner or later. You got to sign up to the new terms. We got to change our contracts over, but we can give you some more time. Maybe you can invent some more harassing language to send them over their emails, some more threatening things, some more worrisome text to try and pressure people into signing up to the YPP. I at some point, I just ask, if you work for these MCNs, if you work at YouTube and this is the kind of meeting that you're having, if these are the kind of phone calls that you're fielding, and I know they're not talking about it in evil, cackling ways, but they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing, and I wonder about humanity in general, about an individual's humanity, and about the individuals who work for the MCNs. Who make the MCNs happen, who run the MCNs, who own the MCNs, who own and run and operate YouTube. Because you know what you're doing. You know why you're extending the deadline. It has nothing to do with, we're trying to give people an opportunity. They've had months. They've been berated by messages from you. That doesn't make any sense. You're moving the deadline so that the MCNs can keep screwing people over. You are working overtime, YouTube, and on a daily basis, to support the predacious practices of an industry that middlemans its way in and takes advantage of the content creators who you're supposed to be supporting and defending and enabling. What the hell is wrong with YouTube? What the hell is wrong with the people who run this show? I mean, I'd love to hear an alternate explanation for why they would move that deadline off, but the one that's not going to work is we're trying to give people more time. Because people don't need more time. They know what's going on. They know whether or not they want to sign up or not, and they know what the consequences are. You've already informed them. So what is it? If not, just you got drinking buddies in the MCNs, and they're telling you, we need more time in order to try and keep more people who are unsatisfied with what we do for them locked into our service. We need to keep these people despite the fact that they are doing everything within their power, including, risking they're going to lose money by not signing up to the YPP, that there's going to be a transitionary period. Everything in their power to get away from us. We need to keep them locked in. What is wrong? Forget YouTube. What the hell is wrong with the MCNs? Is there any personal conscience left in this industry? On the internet at all? In entertainment? In networking? We've watched as YouTube has taken intellectual property rights and created a system that assumes if you've got money and you raise your hand and say it's mine, well then it must be his. It must be his every time. We have to fight when somebody comes into our content and says that's mine. We have to fight to get it back. And the assumption is that we're liars and we're thieves and that they are good and in the right and in the clear. And 95% of the time, they're the thieves. They're the thieves. And those are provable statistics. What the hell is wrong with people? We like to talk about it as into YouTube and MCNs and stuff like that, but you know what? These are names that we put on the front of organizations that are buildings that contain human beings who wake up each morning and go to their day, and their job is apparently to fuck people over. What is wrong with you? MCNs doing everything in their power to keep people who don't want to be there anymore stuck there. If you had something to offer, if you had something worth giving, you'd let people walk away. You'd stand on your own merits and say, you know what? We provide a good service. If you're unsatisfied, feel free to leave because we're doing all that we can for you. But you're not. You're not providing a good service, and you're damn sure not doing all that you can for anyone other than you. And you're working really hard on a daily basis to do it. And apparently you have friends at YouTube. So ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned to the Ronan Pawn channel because I will let you know, if and when I know, what that new deadline that YouTube and their buddies over at the MCN have come up with actually is. When this whole thing is going to actually be over, and when you will actually be able to get out of that shitty contract with a bunch of fucking thieves. I am the Ronan Pawn. And I'm coming for you, you fucking MCNs.